have something that everybody else doesn't, and that's just that grit, that will. There's not as much as they don't want it as much as me, and I can see it in the way that they fight.
This is Jonathan Agatha for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Bruce Shushu Carrington. Shushu, I've heard a lot about you. You're back, obviously, next week. Excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited, man. This training camp has been great. I've really been locked in. I mean, every single training camp, every fighter always talking about this is the best training camp they've ever had. But that's how it's supposed to be, because each time we're supposed to elevate. I definitely feel like this is one of the best training camps I've had. We got a great game plan for my next opponent, Bernard Torres. He's 18-1, good fighter. This is supposed to be a step up for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely gonna make sure I show everybody how different of a level I'm on compared to my opponent.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking you're an Olympian, or have I got that right?
Yeah. Well, I won the Olympic trials. I was supposed to, qualify for the Olympic team, but in 2020, COVID happened, and the qualification tournaments they canceled. So they went to the number ones in the prior year and told them to come in and step in because we were able to qualify. So yeah, I would have been an Olympian, but unfortunately, certain things, nature happens. But listen, it is what it is. I was able to close that door, open this new door, and make a new story for myself.
Yeah, I feel like Top Rank, Bob Arum, have been really getting behind you this last year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they've always been kind of behind me since the start. I wouldn't even say just as last year. It's just that they just knew it was time for me to, step up my competition because of how I was performing the year prior, 2022. It was like, okay, they think, they felt I was ready for, the bigger guys or just more tougher competition per se. I always knew that I was ready. Yeah. It's just, I honestly don't feel like the world is ready for what else I have in store because I haven't shown everything that I can bring to the table.
So, just tell us sort of where you're ranked. Are you ranked in any of the governing bodies yet?
Yeah, right now I'm ranked number 8 in the WBO, and
126. Right?
And 126, yes, and 126. So I'm already ranked top 10, and I'm ready to climb up that ladder, man. 2024 is gonna be a big year for me. I plan on having a title shot by 2025 for sure.
And who do you reckon is going to be holding that belt that you won in 2025?
Being at the WBO has me in the sanctioning bodies right now as number 8. I'm going to be in that route. Whether if I hear that Espinoza and Robesi Ramirez are going to have the rematch, I'll let's see how that goes. But either one of those guys, whoever has the belt at that time, yeah, it's up for the taking. That's how I see it. I feel like, I'm the best 126 in the division. Everybody else is gonna have to become believers in due time.
Yeah, and Robesi's obviously with Top Rank as well, so that's an easy fight to make, right?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's gonna be an easy fight to make. And the fight that makes the most sense, obviously. But when it's time to get there, we'll get there. But I'm mentally and physically ready for anybody right now.
What do you think of the guys in Britain? We had Josh Warrington. Well, he moved up for Lee Wood, or he's going to move up. Nick Bull's fighting Ray Vargas. Who else do you know?
Well, those are really the guys that I know. Those guys that you mentioned. I'm really interested in fighting all of those guys. You know what I mean? Lee Wood, I see he's going up, and like you said, and Josh Warrington and all them guys. But Nick Ball, he's still hopefully he's going to be in a featherweight division for some time. So me and him can cross paths as well too. But all them guys are good. I like their technique. I like their style. Nick Ball, he's really interesting right now. He's coming up and they're doing his thing. His last performance was pretty good. I keep an eye on them guys for sure. But again, I know I'm different. It just is what it is. Like I have something that everybody else doesn't, and that's just that grit, that will. There's not as much as they don't want it as much as me, and I can see it in the way that they fight.
Have you always lived out here in Vegas, or did you move?
No. I just moved out here last year, 2023 of March. Okay. Yeah, March 2023, and I love it. I love it out here compared to New York. It's just like the work out here is just different in terms of all of the fighters that come out here that wants to spar and become their best self. Running in different terrains, these mountains, the weather, the heat. You're not getting that in New York. You know what I mean? So, and then the cost of living is great too. So I love it. I really do love it, and I don't see myself leaving Vegas in a while.
You're not getting that heat this week though. It's not been great here in Vegas, but. Yeah, I mean, as well, you got Ray Ford against Kolmasov coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're cool with Ray, but is that a potential fight down the line?
100%. Yeah, I'm familiar with Ray.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 100% though. But listen, everybody is up for taking, man. It is what it is. It's a business. It is what it is. All respect is outside the ring. Once we get inside the ring, it's time to get down and dirty. And now I'm sure every other fighter that's in this business, they should be like this, but they understand and respect that that's just what's a part of the game. But yeah, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm rooting for Raymond Ford for this fight though. Honestly, you know, I feel like he has the goods. He has the skills. He has, you know, the strength and the IQ to win in this fight. I feel like, you know, he is one of the guys right now that I feel like he's really sharp, man. Like really has one of the best boxing IQs in the division, I would say. But yeah, and I'm really interested to see how he's gonna match up with his opponent, man. This is like really interesting to see how this is gonna turn out, and I'm gonna be a fan to watch.
Saw you a couple times last week at the Teo fight. What did you think of how it went last night?
Man, it was controversial for sure. You know, me watching it live, I haven't watched it, you know, the program yet. I haven't watched the fight yet on TV. But me watching it live, I definitely thought that it could have been a draw or even leaning towards Ortiz, you know, because he was hitting and moving. Yeah, he wasn't, I would say that he wasn't really inciting a lot of action most of the time. He was obviously just on his bike, but he was using it pretty well. You know, he kind of took some foundation of style from Sandor Martin and made that frustration for Teofimo Lopez, as you can see, and made it a tough fight for him. I feel like Teofimo Lopez, whenever he landed well, but both of them guys, you got to give a testament to their defense. They were super sharp on their defense, super sharp. But man, in order to beat the champ, you got to beat the champ, and that's just what it is. And I feel like that's why, you know, Teofimo got the fight. 117-111 though, scorecard was wild. Either way, either one of those guys, if it was for Jamaine Ortiz or Teo, I disagree with it. 115-113 was much more likable.
You know, going forward, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia just announced they had a shove for some sort of event today. Who wins that? Man, given, you know, we got to go off of, you know, the last fights, right? You know what I mean? Because that's, you know, that's what we can go off of. Ryan's, his wasn't as impressive, and Devin, you know, he did his thing against Regis Prograis. I feel like, you know, as of right now, Devin just on a momentum. He's a really good in terms of performance as well too. He hasn't really had a bad performance. You know what I'm saying? So, and Ryan, you know, he's come up. He lost against Tank. He had a subpar performance against what was his last opponent name? I forget his last opponent. Excuse me. So I apologize. But which one?
Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia's last.
Duarte, was it? No. Keep talking.
I forget his name, and I apologize for that. But you know, honestly, I feel like, you know, Devin just has more in his arsenal to be able to beat Ryan. But it's also, you know, going to be interesting to see how those two match up style up against each other, and who knows if Ryan Garcia will be able to, you know, beat him because of his style. You know, it's going to be an interesting fight to see. Ryan Garcia is still, you know, a very tough competitor in the 140 division.
Yeah, that was Oscar Duarte.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So have you sparred any of these guys? And
I've never sparred Ryan Garcia. I sparred Devin when we were little kids, though. I've sparred Tank Davis probably like back in 2017. I've sparred Shakur Stevenson plenty of times. Man, who else? I never sparred Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, no, but those are the guys that I spar with. Yeah.
So I have to ask. I'm sure you have been asked this, but Tank and Devin, who do you think would win that fight?
Man, that's gonna be an interesting fight. Honestly, I feel like Devin has a deep bag in terms of his arsenal, but also I feel like people underestimate how deep Tank's bag is on top of his power. I noticed that when Devin is in the inside, he doesn't really like. He's not that comfortable in the inside fighting at times. So if Tank can push the issue and make him fight in the inside, it's gonna be an interesting fight for Devin. That's a fight that I really can't call though. Honestly, it's gonna be a war of attrition. Like, you know, for sure.
Finally, Fury against Usyk rescheduled May 18th. How do you reckon that's going to go?
Man, I love Tyson Fury, dude. I love Tyson Fury. I'm going for Tyson Fury. You know, I like Usyk. His style is great, man. You know, I feel like as the clock goes on, there's less of a chance for Tyson Fury to win. I just didn't like how his performance was with Ngannou, but granted, I don't think that he really took that fight that serious as well either. Because when we do see a serious Tyson Fury, like we saw against Deontay Wilder, he's a beast. And then even when he fought Dylan White, like, he's a beast, you know. So when he does take it serious, he shows up. So if he is that type of Tyson Fury coming up against Usyk, which I think he will be, I think Tyson Fury wins for sure. But man, Usyk is a problem. Usyk is a problem. Great angles, great speed, good combinations, great IQ. It's gonna be an interesting fight. But again, Tyson Fury.
Tune in next week, the return of Shushu in New York.
Yes.
Yeah, that's on ESPN and Sky in the UK. So tune in, just tell everyone where to follow you.
You guys can follow me on my Instagram, Bruce_Carrington. My Twitter is B_Carrington1. And yes, you guys definitely tune in February 16th on ESPN. It's my first time fighting on TV, nationwide coverage. Yes, first time. So I'm going to make it real special for y'all. We're going to turn New York City into Shoe York City, and the Shushu Show must start.